Princess syndrome. My girlfriend has princess syndrome. I'm 24, and she's 23. We've been dating for about 5 months. We were casual acquaintances back in college but only started dating after she graduated. We get along great. When I say princess syndrome, I don't mean she's spoiled or demanding, that's not it. It's just that her clothes seem to have taken over her entire life. She dresses like some kind of fairytale princess almost every day, except for work. Long, flowy skirts, lace blouses, that kind of thing. It suits her because she's very beautiful and can pull it off. At first, I thought it was really cute, but then I realized how much time she spends on her outfits. She runs a blog and has a decent following. She's constantly posting photos of her looks, links to items, and all that. She spends at least a couple of hours a day on the blog. Then there's the time spent sewing details for new outfits or for her Etsy shop. When we go out, people are constantly staring at her. I've even seen people secretly taking photos of her on their phones. This attention makes me uncomfortable. I asked her to tone it down a bit, but she interpreted that as just not wearing anything in her hair when we go out together. I've told her many times that I love her for who she is, but it's like she's not listening. I hoped that when she got a new job in her field of study, she'd become more serious, but her new boss and colleagues only encourage her. I'm afraid people won't take her seriously or won't notice how kind and smart she is. How can I talk to her about more appropriate clothing without hurting her feelings? Comments. User 1. It sounds like you need to deal with your own insecurities. This is her hobby, her interest, and she's getting positive feedback for it. You shouldn't try to change her, especially since that's likely what attracted you to her in the first place. Author. I guess I find it hard to see clothing as a hobby. I play video games in my spare time, and strangers don't secretly photograph me when I'm just trying to buy groceries at the supermarket. I get your point about it being what attracted me to her initially, and it's true. I guess I just didn't think it would remain such a big part of her life, especially after graduation. User 2. So, you love her for who she is, but you expect her to change? That makes no sense. This is who she is. She likes dressing this way. She posts her looks online because she enjoys it. Others support her because they like who she is, too. Author. That's exactly my problem. How do I ask her to dress more casually around me without hurting her feelings? User 3. If you love her for who she is, why do you want to change her? Just curious. She doesn't need all those ruffles. She'd look like a princess anyway. Author. And it's one thing when a creative student dresses unusually and brightly, but she's 23, she's a grown woman. I feel like because of her appearance, everyone will think she's superficial, even though she's very smart. User 4. Does she dress like that for attention? Author. I honestly think it is about the attention. She says she doesn't care what people think of her. But she spends so much time on her blog, replying to comments, so I don't think that's true. Although, she also told me she loves it when little girls come up to her when she's dressed up, and that definitely feels like a need for attention. She doesn't dress inappropriately, and by those standards, everything is fine. She's well-groomed and doesn't show skin, but is it appropriate to wear lace dresses and flower crowns to the supermarket? It only attracts unnecessary attention. Update 1. I didn't plan on making an update, but everything has changed. From my previous post, I realized I needed to be more supportive but also talk to her about dressing more simply in certain situations so we both feel comfortable. But we never got the chance to talk. Last week, she called and said she wanted to stop by after work. When she arrived, I offered to make dinner, but she said she couldn't stay and that we needed to talk. I jokingly asked if she was breaking up with me, and she looked very guilty. You already know where this was going. We talked about being at different stages of life and having different goals for the future. Well, she did most of the talking, but I agreed. It was a fairly peaceful breakup, though I was in shock. We agreed to stay friends. I've never been dumped before, and it feels terrible. I want to find a way to stay in touch, but as soon as she changed her relationship status on social media, all these guys started liking her posts and commenting on her photos. I don't think she's dating any of them, but it still hurts. My friend wants to set me up with a girl, but I don't know if I should. User 5. It wouldn't have worked out anyway. You had fun and good times with her. Just accept the breakup and move on. Author, I understand some of her arguments, mostly that I want to leave the city when my contract ends and wanted her to move with me. I was afraid of a long-distance relationship, but she didn't want to leave. She said something about me being controlling, but I really don't think that's the case. Update 2, 10 years later. I was going through my old email and found this account. I was surprised it still works, and even more surprised by how many people messaged me. It's a bit awkward to relive our breakup after nearly 10 years. Now I see that we weren't meant to be together, and I think I suffered more from the fact that I was dumped than from the loss of the relationship itself. I'm 33 now and married to a wonderful woman. We've been together for 4 years. I learned my lesson about how important it is to support your partner's hobbies. My wife loves running and baking. We have a daughter who turns 3 this year. I want her to be free to express herself however she wants, safely, of course. I would do anything for them. My ex and I are still friends on social media. We don't talk, but we like each other's posts. She's currently married to a woman who also dresses unusually. Not as bright as she used to, but still unconventional. Their photos look like frames from a fairy tale. They both look very happy on their farm.